Hello, everyone. Welcome to TAUS webinars, the second one this week already. Today, we are going to talk about our partnership with Microsoft. It's a project that has been in the works for the past few months. So we are very excited to be able to talk about it and to present it to you today. On today's agenda, we will start with quick introductions. We will talk about the custom translator for those of you who are not familiar with it yet. We will tell you about data-enhanced machine translation, what it is, and the secret sauce behind it. And of course, we will tell you how you can make use of the software, and end with a quick Q&A session. This will be a short webinar, 30 minutes long, but as usual, it will be recorded, and the recording will be shared with everyone shortly after the webinar. And today's speakers, we are very happy to have our Microsoft partner, Mohamed, on the call. Hi, Mohamed.
Hi, Das. This is Mohamed Al-Ghazali. I am the product owner of a custom translator platform. And I have a slide to talk about what it is later.
Thanks, Mohamed, and thanks for joining us. Here with me is also my colleague, Amir. Hi, Amir.
Hello, Vasya, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Amir Kamran. I'm the solution architect at TAUS, and I'm actually involved in this project with Microsoft, so I'm going to talk more about that later.
Thanks, Amir, and I'm Dat Zaguzet, and I will be your moderator and host for today's session. So, but let's first start with some context for this partnership. As many of you know, TAUS has been a long advocate for machine translation and language technology in general, encouraging companies not to be afraid of new technologies, but instead trying it out. And we do see that the discourse around machine translation has moved to the next stage. So today, it's not so much anymore whether to use it, but more about how to use it. So we do see that the demand for machine translation is growing exponentially, and there's a lot of NT solutions available out there, generic, ready to use on your screen, what have you. But we also see that high quality and domain specific solutions are still very hard to come by, as they require very good quality training data and expertise to be able to build these models. And these could be the two reasons why some of the companies are a bit reluctant to jump on a horse, and might be also maybe not seeing results that might be optimal for their use cases. As building new models sometimes might also seem quite complicated, and the process might be quite time-consuming. And they are looking for solutions that are easy to use, plug-and-play method. And we do hope that our partnership with Microsoft is a one good possible solution to these three challenges, and that is through offering TAUS data-enhanced machine translation models on the Azure marketplace. And I would like to give floor now to Mohamed to tell a bit more about the custom translator. Mohamed, the floor is yours.
Thank you. The custom translator platform is actually a feature of Microsoft Translator service. It is the one that powers all Microsoft products like Edge, Office 365, Dynamics, and so on and so forth. Why do we have it? It's many of our organizations, they are asking to build their own custom DeMT system that reflects their business, industry, domain-specific terminology and style. In other words, speaks the language instead of our general domain. We built the platform to be easy to use, no programming skills required to train your own custom model. And super important, the custom system data that you use It is secured with double encryption at rest and in transit in the region that you select to be used for the data residency. Also, Microsoft guarantees data security and privacy. What that means is basically we do not capture any of your data. We do not use or share. And there is a no trace policy. You can read more about it that we abide to. The custom system that you build seamlessly integrates with the existing solution, application, workflows, websites, and you would use the same cloud-based Microsoft Translator API that powers billions of transaction requests today. The custom translator today allows you to build and publish systems to and from English. Soon we will enable you to do more with other languages. Last but not least, we are supporting 60 plus languages on custom translator, and we're adding more to be at parity with our general domain models. Thank you.
Thanks, Mohammed. And indeed, so custom translator is a playground for machine translation users, as it enables anybody to build their own domain-specific models. And there are many people, many companies that already use it today. But we do still see that there is this threshold to get started, as companies might not always know what data they should be using to build their own solutions, or they might have the data, but then they might try it out and it might not always deliver the best results. So really, to understand the real value behind the customization, it requires some effort, and not every company is ready to go with it or to invest sufficient time to actually achieve the better outcome. So this is the promise of data-enhanced machine translation, or how we call it DMT. So we take some work out of the customer's hands and offer it through our DMT product. As we do the model training, customization, we go through strict testing workflow to ensure that models that we do publish really do deliver better results than the baseline models. And we make them available to the customer directly in a workspace. And of course, the models, so TAUS does offer the off-the-shelf models that are ready to be used, but we do also see that in many cases, they do require further customization or personalization on top of it to really deliver, to ensure that every customer can translate their content and achieve better results compared to other or baseline solutions available. And so what is the secret sauce behind the DMT, and how do we ensure that these customized solutions indeed deliver better results? Amir, you are the one who can tell us about it.
Sure, yeah, thank you. So as Mohammed said, that Microsoft Custom Translator is very easy to use tool or API or piece of software where you can just go and anybody can do the customization, you can do the training. But the moment you will go there, you will realize that you need data. And without data, you cannot really do any customization at all. And Microsoft does not provide that data. You have to produce that data. And there, basically, this is the problem that TAUS is trying to solve, because we take customization as a data engineering problem. And it's very tough to basically create high quality data, which actually fits your needs. And then you have to do multiple iterations and multiple trainings to come to the sweet spot where the right amount and the right quality of the data is available to achieve the optimal results. And that's why, because TAUS has a history of maintaining data, we have a large data repository, which we gathered over a decade, 15 years, and then we converted that into the data marketplace. So we have a lot of data in different domains in various language pairs. But on top of that, we have the ability to create new data through our TAUS human language platform. So we can use humans to verify data, to verify the quality, to generate new domains, to generate new data. And then we can combine all of that with the needs of the client. So for example, if a customer is coming and saying that I don't have data, we can then just read the description of their domain and needs and generate the data. If they can come up and say that we don't have bilingual data, just monolingual data, we can take that and do the data selection. Or they can come up with a bilingual data set, but that is not enough to customize them. We can take that and enhance that and enrich that with more data. But this is not a simple process, because you first need to explore this vast repository to get the right segments that match with the samples that you are providing. But on top of that, we have to do the cleaning and evaluation and estimation of the data before we can go forward and do the customization. So this whole process, we have built a different algorithms and APIs on top of this. And all the expertise that we have gained over the years, we are applying all that knowledge to do this the right way, so that you can get the best and optimal models readily available. So the dream is that if you need some kind of customized model, you can just go there in the Azure Marketplace, and there is a list of models available, and you can just select that and then start using that. But if there is a need of particular domain in a particular language pair which is not there, then you can always come to TAUS, and we can generate a customized data set for you and train a model for you and make sure that all the evaluations produce the right results. And then we can push that to through Azure Marketplace and through custom translator, so that it's consumable for you and you can use it very easily without any efforts for the best results of machine translation.
And how long does it take to build a new model on it?
Usually our timeline is 2 weeks, but again, it depends on what is available and how we are producing the data. So for example, if there is a domain which is very unique and we have to use humans to generate the data, then the timeline can be varied according to that. But if it's a domain where we have enough data and we can just select from our repository, or maybe generate data from crawling or open source data, and clean that and customize that and use humans to verify the quality, then we can just produce a model within 2 weeks. And then we can easily push that to custom translator.
And what actually defines the domain specificity? So what, if anybody, let's say, wanted to build an automotive model, how do you go about figuring out what dataset or what segments you need to include in this model to be?
So when we talk about let's say high level domains, so like let's say you say automotive, which covers a vast majority of subdomains of automotive, then we can just take it as a top level domain, and then we can train a model ourselves and then push it through Microsoft Custom Translator that people can use, just like the current models that are available in the custom translator are based on healthcare in 3 languages and e-commerce in 3 languages. But that healthcare is a generic healthcare model. But if you are coming up with a very specific use case within healthcare domain, then you can just provide us some samples. And then based on those samples, we can just customize further within the niche of the healthcare. Maybe it's about manufacturing of healthcare equipments. Then the data set will become slightly more different. Or maybe you have to train a model that is dealing with translating articles about Corona, then it becomes a very different data set. And then we can customize it further according to the needs. So the domain is really defined by the samples that is provided by the client.
And in your experience, what improvements can you actually achieve with customization? So
we published a report last year in which we demonstrated that you can get up to 25% improvement of Blue score over the baseline models. But again, as I said, that it's an iterative process. So we train multiple models and then optimize the data in many iterations to come to the right data set that can produce the optimal results. So if there is a need and there is a client that comes to us, we can always, get feedback from them, input more data, or maybe sometimes generate some synthetic data and use humans to come to that right data set that can, work the magic.
Yeah, thanks. Well, and then how it actually works. So if anybody on the call today is interested to try it out, what's the process? So it starts with submitting the contact form. I will also show you the listing on the Azure Marketplace. So you get in touch with TAUS, we talk, you tell us what you are interested in, if it is one of the readily available models, or if it is perhaps a different domain and language pair combination. And then, as Amir explained, we can build a model specifically for you. Then at this step, the customer subscribes to the offer. So this will make sure that you are really making use of this subscription. And then there is a manual step involved where TAUS then shares this custom model with the customer by copying it to the customer's workspace. And at this step, the model is ready to be used and can be published by the customer themselves directly in their workspace. And so at this point, I will also show you that it's indeed not just us talking, but these offers are indeed available on the marketplace. So if you do search by DEMT, you will find both of our offers, so the DEMT Translate and the Estimate API. And that's what we talked about in yesterday's webinar. So this is where you can review the current offer and submit the connection request. And then what happens then next is also, if I go to the Azure portal, then the way it works is through the offers on the marketplace. So when we have defined which domain and language pair combination you will be using, we will make it. So we will make the subscription plan available to you through a private offer. And here you can see the offers that I have available on my Azure portal. And this is where you then actually subscribe and start the subscription starts ticking, and this is when TAUS will make the model available to you. And yeah, so this is really it. It's very simple, and this is just the beginning, but we do hope to get some customers on board and be able to also develop this further. So time for potential questions. I see a few. So there is a question about, I don't have data for training model. How can TAUS help? So what are the minimum requirements for us to be able to build a model for someone? Amir.
Yeah, so as I explained earlier as well, that even if you don't have data, but you have a description of what the domain is or what you are targeting, or even if you have just monolingual data, we can take that and then we can produce data based on that. So if you don't have any data, then we can start by generating first a small data set that we call QD corpus, and then we can take that and generate a larger data set based on that. But if you have just monolingual data, we can assume that this is the domain, and then we can use that. And again, we can do the data selection, which we call matching data. And then that will give us a larger corpus, and then we can work with that. Or if you have a domain or a language pair where the data is really rarely available, or even the TAUS repository does not have that, then we can talk and we can see how we can produce that data, maybe through synthetic methods or through the human data generation. In that case, we can first generate the source side very easily through a lot of different methods, but then the translation can be provided by humans, and then we can add the quality assurance on top of that using our quality estimation methods and humans as well, and that could work out like that.
Yeah, and I see there's a related question about the size of data. So if you don't have a lot of data, can you add weight in custom translator to improve results?
Yeah, as I said, this is where TAUS comes in, because we can produce the data and we can add the data that is needed. But then this is also a question whether how much data you need or how less data you need to get to that optimal customization. And this is not an easy question to answer, because if you are just adding a lot of data that is just repetitive, that will not going to have any benefit when you are doing customization. Or if you are doing maybe a lot of data, but that data does not really represent the whole domain, then also it does not going to help you. Or if you are going too generic in the domain, so you have to be very specific, what is your use case? Only then the customization can really help. So what we are doing is we are taking all of this troubles from the client and we are dealing with that. So you can just give us the description and some sample, and we will take care of that, and we will come to that optimal size of the data set that is needed to do the customization.
And a question to Mohammed. So in your experience working with custom translator customers, what do you know, what are their main pain points? So where do they get stuck, or what are perhaps the reasons why they can't use custom translator as much as they would like to? Can you share some insights?
There are actually two data points. When we looked at the spectrum of the customers or the organizations that come to custom translator platform, so you have the kind of like the S500 organizations, which they have accumulated tons of data through the years, and they are ready to basically build their own custom translation system. And that's happening today. We have thousands of customers that they are using the platform. And then you have the medium and small business, which kind of sort of, they might have the data and they might not. And then certainly the long tail organizations or the mom and pop shops. This partnership will actually facilitate high quality translation for those one. And what they have been telling us that we do not have data. This is the question that Amir responded to. This is the chief reason why we partnered with you, because you have data, high quality data, I would say is super important. And you can build basically high quality custom model that customers can use out of the box. Okay, and then they can think of, if they want to customize further, then they would come to you basically to do a delta enhancement to the model. The second one, it is, even if they have data, okay, processing the data, doing the cleansing, the filtering, conforming the data, making sure that the source and the target is a true human curated representation of the source. That's a lot of work and very expensive operation, okay? And you mentioned you had to iterate multiple times, and you are the expert. And iterating, it means you're gonna pay more money, right? Whether kind of like the training or to add more data from somewhere. So it's very expensive. And that's what the customer kind of like, they shy away from translation, though they want it, because of those two reasons. Either they don't have data, or if they have data, they do not have the expertise to build a custom translation system that kind of sort of speaks their terminology and fluency. Those are the two chief reasons. Yeah,
thanks, Mohammed. There's a somewhat technical question. So about how is the model sharing working? As it is seems to be an empty provider. So they tried to move the models to a different organization, but the feature was not available. So is it something that you have, so the model copying and sharing between the customer workspaces, is it a new feature? Is it available to everyone, Mohammed?
We actually, to enable this partnership, we enabled a new feature, model copy. We have not advertised it yet. It's coming soon in our June release notes, where customers will learn about the copying models from one workspace to another workspace and the requirement to do that, among other features that are coming. So just wait a couple of weeks and then you'll learn all about it.
All right, thanks. I don't see any other questions. So if there is anything from those of you who joined the webinar, you know how to reach us. We can also answer them offline. And we will also follow up with the email after this webinar with all the links on where you can read more about this and possibly try out. And of course, we are very much hoping to see action here and to have customers trying it out, as it's also interesting, not only for TAUS, but also, of course, for Microsoft to see how, what new opportunities and use cases it brings to the custom translator offering. So thanks, everyone. Thanks, Mohammed and Amir, for joining us today. And thanks, everyone. Have a good day and see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.